With a Denver cop who will soon finish a 10-day suspension for reckless driving, it could have been longer had he received a DUI.
He was thrown from his car after crashing through multiple yards. Investigative reporter Rob Blow with why the officer was never tested for drugs and alcohol, despite the circumstances uncovered by the problem solvers.
This is video from a neighbor's camera on the morning of July 21st, 2022, when Chris Maroney popped a curb and plowed his car through 4 front yards before his car stopped at 220 North Monaco Street, his body thrown another 10 feet from the car.
And as I was going through first, I saw a car going 80 plus through the lights.
He was topping at maybe 180 plus 90.
The speed limit where the Denver off-duty cop lost control was 30 miles an hour. Witnesses said the off-duty officer may have been going at least 3 times that, leaving a debris field of 730 feet before his car came to a stop.
His car did smoking and he was unconscious laying down outside of the vehicle.
The 2 witness interviews are the only times officers turned on their body cams.
The body-worn camera should have been activated upon their arrival on scene.
Jason Chilson is a former DUI officer for Aurora Police who now works as a private investigator.
In any investigation where you respond to a crash scene and you have interaction with witnesses, you do a search of the vehicle, you view evidence on scene, you're always going to have a body-worn camera activated.
So, no body cam, but officers said they found nothing in the car to suggest drinking or drugs. According to an investigative report obtained by the problem solvers, an officer asked the paramedics if they noticed any signs of intoxication and was told they both wore an N95 respirator and also placed an N95 respirator on Maroney and did not smell any odor of alcoholic beverages on his person or his breath.
The subject was intubated, and they have the ability to check for impairment by getting really close to his mouth and to check and see if they can detect the odor of alcohol emanating from his breath.
At the hospital, police did ask if they could conduct a portable breathalyzer test, but a nurse said Maroney was unconscious and had been intubated. He, the male nurse, could not remove the intubation tube because it would jeopardize Maroney's life. But he also knew that the hospital was conducting a blood alcohol test to determine Maroney's blood alcohol content. But the officer responded, "I did not have any probable cause to believe Maroney was driving under the influence or while ability impaired. Therefore, I could not legally withdraw his blood pursuant to Colorado law."
I believe they had the ability to apply for a warrant to see if they could get the blood.
As a former DUI cop, Chilson said he often got search warrants for blood under very similar circumstances.
You have the crash occurring at approximately 2 in the morning. You have the alleged high speeds, 80 to 100 miles an hour. The vehicle going through a red light. It was a single vehicle crash, rollover crash.
I think it would have been better practices for the police to have sought a warrant.
Defense attorney and Fox 31 legal analyst Chris Decker says the crash itself with serious bodily injury was enough for police to at least ask a judge for a warrant.
I have had clients who were in single car accidents who have sustained serious bodily injury for which police officers sought and were granted a warrant.
If you look at those pictures, it looks like the car partially disintegrated.
But former prosecutor and Fox 31 legal analyst George Brockler says he still doesn't think traffic cops had enough evidence to seek a warrant.
And there's a lot of cases out there that talk about a motor vehicle accident alone, outside any other indicia of intoxication. It's just not enough to invasively get into somebody's veins and take their blood.
In your experience, how many sober drivers have an accident like the one you saw with those pictures where the car disintegrated, driving at 2 in the morning, speeding at almost 3 times the speed limit?
Yeah, none.
Do you have any recollection of the accident? I don't. You don't remember anything?
In his internal affairs interview, Officer Maroney said he had no idea where he was going or coming from in the morning of the accident.
Was a drug or alcohol test conducted? No, I'm not sure.
An investigator for internal affairs tried to get the blood results by calling Maroney weeks later.
Would you be willing to sign a HIPAA form to release your medical records regarding the accident, or to provide any medical or copies of any medical records? No. All right.
Because Maroney was off duty, Denver police could not force him to give up his medical records.
We know the truth because the hospital took his blood and they analyzed it. They know the answer, but we can't know the answer unless he says we can, and he said no.
Denver police insist they did not violate their body cam policy as it existed at the time, but admit under today's policy, they would be required to turn their body cams on. The department maintains officers did not have enough evidence to seek a warrant for Maroney's blood. We reached out to Officer Maroney for comments, but did not hear back. Had he received the DUI, his presumptive suspension would have been 10 to 60 days, and with aggravating factors like his blood alcohol level, property damage, extent of injuries, he could have faced termination. But again, he pled guilty to reckless driving, and the department gave him a 10-day suspension, which he will complete by February 9th. Rob Lowe, Fox 31.
All right.